Has Aston Villa sporting director Monchi revealed a key plan and strategy for Aston Villa's transfer movement in the summer window coming up? Furthermore, has he also revealed a player in which Aston Villa have been monitoring under the radar and we could be going back for a potential loan move this summer where we could have an absolute gem on our hands from Real Madrid, a young upcoming talent? We'll have to wait and see. But before we go any further, welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. I hope you're all well and enjoying the weekend to come. Of course, it is FA Cup quarter-final weekend and a massive game for Aston Villa against Preston North End. And if you are excited for that, then of course, smash the like button for me. Can we hit 50 likes on this video? Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new around here, as we're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. And of course, comment section, flood it up. Get involved and let me know your predominant thoughts and feelings on this situation about Monchi. Do you like this transfer target as well? And would you be all for it? Would love to know your thoughts and feelings on this one. So without further ado, let's get into this video and discuss the news coming out of the man himself, Monchi, and his thoughts for Aston Villa's transfer plans. So let's get the player up in question first of all. Monchi has revealed that actually he has went and watched one and only Arda Güler. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this player, he was a player that the whole of Europe was after. He had the choice of clubs that he wanted to go for in 2023, and he decided to go to Real Madrid at the age of 18 years old. Turkish international, a right winger, and of course had given a massive contract from Real Madrid lasting 6 years up to 2029. However, Arda Güler has not had the impact or future that he thought he was going to have at Real Madrid. In fact, it's probably been a little bit of a disappointment and could you say even borderline embarrassment. The reason why I say borderline embarrassment is because Arda Güler has been in the news recently with a spat with Dominik Szoboszlai, the Liverpool player and Hungarian captain. If you weren't aware, those two had a word of exchange and then it took to social media, in which Dominik Szoboszlai mocked Arda Güler for his lack of playing time at Real Madrid. And as you can see here on stage now, this is Arda Güler's playing time, in which he's had 18 appearances in La Liga, 1 goal and 3 assists. But out of those 18 appearances, he's only had 6 starts. And you can see he's only played 644 minutes of football. He's also had little features in the Champions League, with his only start coming at Liverpool away. And quite frankly, 1,088 minutes is his overall playing time this season. And that is what Dominik Szoboszlai mocked him for in his comments on his Instagram post. The fact that Arda Güler was given such large sort of mouth and chest to Dominik Szoboszlai, but only played 1,088 minutes of club football. Now, this is why it's interesting, because Monchi has revealed this on this video today. He has said about the fact that Aston Villa genuinely were monitoring Arda Güler. Have a look at this. Monchi said, I know him well because he's a player that every sporting director followed during his time in Turkey. He's a player who fulfilled a series of requirements and could be attractive for Aston Villa because we were looking for that position. So that's alluding to January, and where Monchi obviously was looking for that forward player. Now, the fact that we're looking at Arda Güler is a massive statement. But of course, we actually ended up with Marco Asensio. And that was a big statement that Monchi again has revealed sort of our transfer recruitment process. It was very clear that when we went to look at Loic Bade of Sevilla, Monchi was very much sort of a public figure in showing that he was scouting him. He's then obviously made it clear again that we've always been a big fan of João Felix. And now, again, Arda Güler being thrown in that light. So it's been very interesting that actually Aston Villa don't necessarily play the wild card here. And in terms of keeping their cards to their chest, should I say, they're very much open about who they're recruiting. Now, he goes further on to say this about Arda Güler, and again, only saying superlatives and happy compliments in terms of his thoughts on him. He says this. So for me, he's a player I like. Obviously, the competition at Madrid is very high. And of course, I always say Arda Güler needs to play. But who does Carlo Ancelotti remove? He can't play a 12. The one who understands this best is the coach Ancelotti. If he doesn't give Güler minutes, it's because he believes another teammate deserves to. However, he says, but personally, I think Güler is a player with excellent technical skills and he also has personality. Now, again, key trigger words there, okay, for me. First of all, let's go to that last phrase, his personality. I've been talking constantly about the fact that Monchi and Unai Emery are looking at players with personalities, not just their technical stuff, but their profile of who they are. We've seen that recently with the comments about Marcus Rashford and his attitude and application, his personality. And it's been again spoken about here with Arda Guler. But Monchi is basically, twerking for him and saying, we really like this guy. He's got it all in our opinion, and he should be playing more minutes, but he's not. And so what this is basically saying is going, hey, Real Madrid, you're not giving this guy game time, but he's your player to 2029. We could do with a player in these wide areas or central areas. And so how about we do a little bit of a deal here? How about we do something called a loan deal? And that, for me, is why I believe Arda Güler will be playing for a different club next season and probably on loan. And that is why I think Aston Villa, with Monchi saying this, have potentially revealed that Arda Güler to Aston Villa on loan could be something that we see in the summer. What are your predominant thoughts, feelings, and emotions about that, Chet? And how do you feel about Arda Güler coming to Aston Villa? Is this a player you'd like to see? Have you watched him at all? Of course, in the Turkish national team, he's a mainstay. He's a big character. He was touted as one of the most upcoming, exciting talents in Europe. 20 years old, isn't playing enough. Let's see what happens with that. However, Arda Güler has responded to these links. And of course, it's very interesting what he says. And I think that, he is going to be one of those players that has to choose. Does he try and fight for his place and believe in the project at Real Madrid, or does he move? So Güler has said this. He has gone on to say, Real Madrid gave me a plan and I still believe in it. I'm sure I'll succeed at Real Madrid. I've even bought a house in Madrid. I work very hard and I'm always ready to play, as you saw in the match against Hungary. He says, I love the Real Madrid fans and their support means a lot to me. I'm very grateful. I came to Real Madrid to play and be an important part of this team, and I won't stop fighting until I achieve that. So, Arda Güler clearly believes in his talent and ability. He clearly believes in the fact that he can find a starting place in that Real Madrid team. But to what avail? Because playing 1,088 minutes across all competitions simply is not good enough. Does he believe that a new manager will give him a new opportunity with the rumours that Carlo Ancelotti could be out? Or does he actually believe that a loan move can help stabilise his career, go back to Madrid and break into their lineup? I always say, though, if Real Madrid loan you out, it probably means you're not good enough for them and won't ever break in their side. So one to watch on that. So that's part of the video. The second part I've talked about is that Monchi's actually revealed for me part of Aston Villa's transfer plan and strategy. And again, this sort of stuff excites me when you start to see the mindset of Unai Emery and Monchi. And they've started giving a lot of hints and snippets of how they feel about the transfers, but not only transfers, the players and the playing time and the future ambitions of the club. Unai's talked a lot about trophies recently and going from competing to winning. And I think, again, Monchi here has given a massive indication of where he's at. So let me show you this. This comes from a similar interview from Monchi when he talked about Arda Güler. And he actually talks about the express in how the type of player that Aston Villa are looking to meet. And I'm going to put it up from this page here so you can see it a little bit clearly. And have a look at this. This is what Monchi has said about... sorry, wrong one. This is what Monchi has said about the position in which Villa are trying to recruit. It says this. Monchi are looking for a player in a similar role to Arda Güler. It's not the same position as Marco Asensio, but more or less we're looking for that profile between the lines. They can play as a 10 and that even can play on the outside coming inside. Okay, so let's be real, Villa fans. We are now getting more of a positional sense of the recruitment strategy here. So we're not looking for an out 10, and we're not looking for wingers. What we're looking for, as it says, look at that profile that can play between the lines, they can play as a 10, and they even can play on the outside coming inside. Basically meaning a winger or a modern day winger who doesn't stand on the touchline, who wants to drift in field, who wants to come and play central. They're looking for someone who can play on the 10, but can also play wide left forward, wide right forward, in the 10, coming from deep to forward, coming from forward to deep. basically a very technical position. And what we're seeing here is this is exactly what Unai Emery is doing with Morgan Rogers on that right-hand side right now. Morgan Rogers is being asked to play that role, and he's doing it, but not to much success, I'd say, at the moment, because he's trying to shoehorn Asensio and Rogers into the same team. And that is exactly what he's looking for there. A player that can come from the outside, coming inside, but can also play as a 10. So, Villa will not be looking for wide forwards or wingers going into the transfer market this summer. We look at Leon Bailey, who definitely does not fit that profile of someone who can play as a 10, can play on between the lines, can play from outside to in. Bailey does not fit that. Hence why we've been seeing a different role of Leon Bailey of recent, a Leon Bailey who actually is more like a wing back, who's actually doing more defensive work than forward work, who's actually being asked to track back a lot more than he would have liked. And hence why our left-hand side has that more imbalance of Rashford and Luka Dean pushing on. So I don't think Villa are looking for wingers anymore, hence why the Philogene as well, we just got rid of straight away. We've completely changed our sort of transfer recruitment. And that is why the likes of Jacob Ramsey and Morgan Rogers are massive for the way an Unai Emery likes to play. And that is why Arda Güler fits that profile. And so it comes down to, are we going to get another Asensio? Are we going to get Asensio first and foremost, should I say? But I think Villa want one more like that. And we lead with those versatile 10s, wide forwards who can cut inside, drift in. That's what we're looking to recruit. So don't link Villa to any wingers anymore, because I don't think that's what we're looking for. And second of all, what does that mean for the future of the likes of Leon Bailey? Does Marcus Rashford also fit that profile as well? And is that someone actually we're just going to not pay the 40 million for, as discussed yesterday? And then finally, if that is the case, then does that system work with both Rogers and Asensio? So much to think about. But Monchi has definitely revealed a big part of Villa's strategy there and the player and profile that we're looking for. And finally, just while I'm thinking about it, Donny Malen, that's an issue. Because again, can he really play that role? Is he a wide winger? Is he a 9? The more I think about it, the Donny Malen situation is confusing the hell out of me. Whew, and breathe, people. A lot to discuss there about Arda Guler and Monchi. Transfers, got to get them over the line early, and we've got to get the right players in the summer. And this has been a very interesting discussion about this. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and of course, get in the comments and comment on everything you've seen. And if you've watched to the end and you've watched this video all the way through, let me know. Actually comment in the comments saying, hey, Josh, I got to the end of this video and watched it all the way through. I'd love to know that as well. Appreciate you out here. I'm out of here. Ta